You ever find a great local business and think, why didn't I know about this sooner? I'm Eric Bull, and on Small Business Big Dreams, we're uncovering the best places to shop, the top experts to trust, and the stories behind the businesses that make life just better. Whether you're a shopper, a business owner, or just someone who loves a great success story, this podcast is for you. So let's dive in and meet the people behind the businesses you wish you'd have found sooner. All right, welcome back to another episode of Small Business Big Dreams. I hope you guys are hungry because today we're going to talk about some food, and not just any kind of food. We're sitting down today with Kris from MyMightyMeals.com. My Mighty Meals, same thing. Welcome, Kris.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I've known about you for longer than I want to admit. You are talked about heavily at Renegade Fitness. Just so you know, a lot of people over there know what's up.
Appreciate the shout out.
Haven't jumped on the bandwagon quite yet, but I got a feeling today's going to change all that. So give us the elevator pitch. What is My Mighty Meals?
Yeah, so it's just a healthy, well-balanced meal prep service. We do it on a weekly basis. We change the menu every time we cook, so you get a bunch of different variety. It's just your simple proteins, fats, carbs, veggies. And yeah, we deliver to the Chicagoland area. Just looking to help people out.
Cool. And we'll dive into a lot of aspects. So home delivered, already cooked, healthy meals.
Yep.
All right. Well, a lot of things I don't know well. So healthy and already cooked. I don't cook at all. My wife is a lifesaver.
That helps.
All right. What's your background? So obviously you had been doing something before this, right?
Yep.
So kind of talk to us about that.
Sure. So I was warehouse inventory purchasing person for a decent amount of time, and I'm a meathead at heart. Always loved the gym, loved to eat well, and decided to dive into a bodybuilding competition.
Okay, very cool.
And from there, I hired a coach who I have to give shout out to, Jason. He was my first coach. He taught me the whole macro portioning, all that good stuff. And I got into competition prep. From there, I started, like I said, learning about portioning, all that. And got from normal in shape life to competition shape.
Like the 3% body fat type stuff. Yeah, that's just crazy.
All Oompa Loompa orange and oiled up and danced up on stage. And I got back into the warehouse and everybody started asking me what I was eating, how did I do it, and all of that. And I started just cooking my own meals for them. And it took off. I say take off, but it was a slow, organic build for sure.
That's the best way. That's a good way to do it, though.
Yeah. We just kind of started helping people out in the warehouse, and then the people in the gym started asking about it. And I literally went door to door to different gyms in the city at the time.
Okay.
And just kind of hey, I do this now. If you're interested, I would love to help your members. And it grew from there.
Where are you based out of?
Yep. So right now we're in Lake Zurich.
Okay.
Our kitchen's in Lake Zurich. And like I said, I deliver all to the Chicagoland as much as I can possibly reach.
Yeah.
But we started in the city. Just outside of the United Center, there was a shared kitchen there that I was lucky enough to find close enough to where I was living at the time in Humboldt Park.
Mm-hmm.
That's...
So talk to me, give me the timeline. So
Sure.
What was when did you start hey, just helping out the warehouse buddies to hey, this is a business, I want to dive in at this.
Yeah. Funny you say that because I'm just coming up on my 10-year anniversary of doing this, which
oh my
is
God.
Wild to
Dude,
think
that's
about.
Crazy.
I know.
Congrats.
Thanks. It doesn't feel that way, but it also feels like an eternity. But yeah, so 10 years ago, that's when the whole thing kind of started.
Yeah.
And then 4 years in, I was able to step away from my warehouse job, made the jump to entrepreneurship.
Full time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I was working more on my Mighty Meals at my job than I was at my job. I shouldn't say that on here, I guess.
Now
but
you can.
Yeah, it's open, I guess. And then from there, we just pushed as much as I possibly could, doing more of those door-to-door things. I was really lucky enough to stumble upon some really great gym owners and great clients at the time who I'm still kind of feeding, I guess, as weird as that sounds. And
How do you know him? He feeds me.
that's it. And word of mouth has been great. Social media has been great. And those few people that have helped me grow the business have obviously kept me going through a wild ride of the last 10 years. So
very cool. I think the bootstrapping of it all, I think that's one thing we don't double click in enough here, is like the fact that you had to go door to door to the different gyms and like, hey, like showing that you exist. I think there's too many people that think like, I call it the field of dreams syndrome. If you build it, they will come. Like, no, you got to know, letting people know that you're out there.
Yeah.
And you got to get in front of people, however that looks like.
Yeah.
So I love that you mentioned that. I have so many questions for you. I love this stuff. So let's keep it simple. Is there a story behind the name My Mighty Meals?
So there is. My ex-wife actually came up with the name, as crazy as that sounds.
Okay.
I know. It's all good. I got to give credit where credit is due.
Fair.
And she helped me along the way a lot. But yeah, it was kind of based around Mighty Mouse, as weird as that is. We were going to do a logo with like him holding a platter of food, and then in the living room, it just turned into me holding a broomstick up.
Okay.
And we turned it into a fork, and that's the
I like
logo.
it, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
I also the alliteration, the My Mighty Meals, like plus the play on like if you wanted to like play with a logo with like 3 M's and things like that. There's some power there.
Yeah.
I like that.
Actually, I'm working with Amanda from Delgado Designs.
Yeah. Shout out.
Yeah. Got to drop.
Yeah.
And she's going to put together a hoodie right now with MMM on the back of it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
She makes some great work.
She does.
We've been trying to get both her and Sergio on the show,
Okay.
but
They are great people.
Our calendars are insane.
Well, they're madness for sure. So
and they also make the best taquito you'll
Yes.
ever have.
Yep.
But that's a whole nother conversation.
they work out of my kitchen.
Oh, really?
Drop that too. Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, very cool. I'm always curious, and again, this is one of those things you want to talk about, you don't want to talk about it. How you got the funding to start, right?
Sure.
Were you self-funded, working them through paycheck to paycheck? Did you win a scratch off, took an investor? What did that look like?
No, that's a great question. And it's a good story. So I was fortunate enough to have a job at the time, right? And like I mentioned, I grew it pretty organically. And just used that money to start. I literally went to the dollar store and bought my first pots and pans.
Wow. Okay.
From there, I just made it enough to where I was comfortable to step away from that job and made the jump. And I have great clients who my turnover rate is super low. Which I hope speaks to the food at some point.
It has to.
Yeah.
I've had enough bad versions that I have no problem I'm done with them. Yeah.
And knowing that reoccurring order that's coming in from a business aspect, it just made me feel a lot more comfortable to kind of make that jump. And I still have one of the pots just to like hold on to. And I see up in the kitchen and I'm like, I know where that came from.
When you get huge, you got to put it like in a shadow box and hang it in your CEO office, kind of thing.
Huge. 10 years, I think if I was going to be huge, it would have happened by now.
Oh, dude, don't even. Yeah. People say that they talk about like the overnight success. It's like, that company was around for like 15 years, right? Before it like blew up.
That's it.
So I always try to remind people, and then like, a lot of the billionaires, they didn't make their first million into their 40s and 50s.
Sure.
And people are like, in their 20s and 30s. I'm like, you got a long way to go.
Long way to go.
You got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Like, don't hold your breath, kid. What was like, so 10 years ago, so 2015. Okay. Funny enough, I'm going to segue here slightly. I haven't had a lot of businesses on here that have started before 2020. I think I can count like handful of them. So it's really interesting because I feel like so many of my conversations start like they started in COVID.
Yeah.
So many people like either lost their job, said screw it, I quit my job, and finally made that jump, right?
Totally.
So this is gonna be very interesting to like you're started in like, I'm air quoting the
Pre-COVID.
hell out of normal, like a normal time. What were some of the more normal time pre-COVID challenges that you ran into as you kind of started wanting to make this actually a business?
Even with COVID, I guess, not to like jump ahead, but like it was always, it's as an entrepreneur or a business owner or whatever, you're on your own, right? You have to make the decisions, and just kind of navigating through all of that. I would say I give myself extra pressure trying to figure out those decisions.
Don't all entrepreneurs?
On top of like actually trying to run the business. So just, I'm sure looking back now, 10 years, like there were thousands of ways I could have done it differently or better, I guess. But it's gotten me this far, so I'll take it. But pre-COVID, I guess difficulties were just probably my own confidence. How about that? That's crazy.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And just knowing, like, pushing through the difficulties of actually starting the business.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, there's a lot of, let's call it imposter syndrome, where like, you have like a bad week, a bad day, or a bad month even, or sometimes even a bad year if you've been around long enough, where it's like, am I doing the right thing? Do I have the right product? Does my shit suck? Whatever it is. And it's like, you've done all of this already. Like, keep pushing, find it, tweak it, just get out of your own head sometimes.
Yes.
Get out of your own way.
Totally. No, I mean, now, like I said, I can pride myself on that. Yeah, totally. Where there were plenty of overnight sessions where we were in the kitchen cooking till 3, 4 a.m. And I'm like, I can't do this. And now, like, I have pride to know that I made it and like can do that, I guess, if I really had to.
What's like one of the like moments you look back on and it's like you thought that was it, you thought you were done, like something happened?
Many.
Yeah. All right, let's pick one. Yeah. And then we'll talk about a lot of good stuff.
No, that's fine. There was a time when, I guess with the business, I guess per se, where I was living out the northwest suburbs at the time, but the kitchen was still in the city. So I was commuting back and forth and then cooking down there, picking up food and then delivering. And it was during a snowstorm. I got stuck and I was just like in the back of my van, pushing my van out. And I'm like, this
what am I doing?
Yeah, I can't do it. It was after like a night of cooking, driving back. Yeah. So, getting through that. And then there's been plenty of other like personal issues that I've overcome, but so that
family things, get involved, business stuff, all the time. And especially, I mean, you've been doing it for 10 years. You've probably seen a thing or two. Not to be, it was not State Farm,
And I'm turning 40, not to like call myself old, but we'll talk about that too, I guess.
Turning 40, man. That's not, your life's just getting started. You think, I mean, when we were kids until our like mid 20s, when we actually like realize we've done enough dumb shit.
That's true.
It's like, hey, like start getting our life together. I trust me. I was a few years behind on getting started. My mom will never let that one down. But here I am. We've come a long, long way. Well, you and me both.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Let's go this route. Talk to me about, so I've done prepped meals shipped to me from much bigger companies, but why my Mighty Meals over, I won't name drop the other competitors.
That's fine. Yeah, there's plenty of them out there. And again, like I said, 10 years ago when this first started, I want to claim that I was one of the first ones, I guess. Again, I could have went plenty of other routes and like blown up to one of them, but it's local. You'll see the person who cooks your food. It's fresh every single week. We change the menu every single week. And then there's no like necessarily dietary niche. Like there's a lot of them out there these days that will do the paleo or the gluten-free or the carnivore or whatever. And I'm a firm believer in keeping the variety high. And if you don't necessarily have any dietary issues that require those niche diets, you should be able to enjoy all kinds of food.
Yeah.
Just portioned correctly and flavored correctly, where you can still hit the goals that you're trying to hit. So
I kind of like that. I like that You're like, this is what it is. Take it or leave it. Right. But I don't. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean that in all like seriousness. Like where too many businesses like try to cater to too many different things, right? And then you're nothing or nobody.
Yeah.
You water it down too much, right?
And with the, I guess, the nutrition type background that I have, I guess, in the bodybuilding world that I've grown in, I have the knowledge to a certain extent to like customize meals in terms of either dietary preferences or restrictions or even macro numbers where you need to hit certain numbers of protein, carbs, and fats per meal, where we can take our quote unquote standard meal and adjust it to your dietary daily intake.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I want to talk more about the food. So is the food, and it might be because I'm starting to get those, the afternoon hunger going.
There's a pile of it right here.
We're looking. He brought a bunch of food. We're going to check this out today. So yeah, you're not like catering like paleo, keto, all those kind of things, but like what level of balance is the food? Is it like high in carb, high in protein, like, or is there at least like, hey, I know what I'm getting into when you like, is it change weekly? What does that look like?
Yeah. So again, based on what I kind of believe in terms of a healthy, balanced diet, we're looking for a higher protein, moderate carb, lower fat. And for sure, every meal should have some sort of greens in it just to get a little bit of veggie in.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
Just check the box at least. I don't eat that way. So like I make sure to have at least some greens in my meals. And that's what I think should be provided as well. But yeah, so high protein, moderate carb. And like I said, we can adjust accordingly if you want to go lower carb or you need more food. We offer a higher caloric meal in that sense, so you can get more food in if you have a higher output for that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. We try to keep the variety high. Like I said, a multitude of chickens, turkey, beef, all the good stuff. So
now, so let's say I'm like, great, I'm going to order, I want to do 10 meals a week, right? Are all those 10 meals the same for me that week? And then the next week it'll be something different?
You can totally pick. So each menu offers 5 different meals. We keep 1 breakfast type meal on there and then 4 like lunch, dinner type entrees.
Okay.
For people who really need that breakfast that are on the go or they know that they're not going to eat unless they have it provided for them.
Yeah.
The breakfast is a huge...
guilty as charged.
Sure.
Yep.
And along with that, we do like snack type things. So you can, again, eat on the go or something quick in the morning or whatever, where it's just a higher protein option than McDonald's, I guess.
God. Or almost anything you can get in like the snack section of a grocery store, basically.
Gas station, whatever.
Yeah, wherever. Whatever your employer is offering and, for free, don't eat it. Trust me.
So there's those 5 options. The protein snacks, and then we do a thing called items by the pound. So
I saw that, the bulk ordering. Yeah.
So if you have specific portions that you want to hit, or you just want to mix and match different, I guess, ingredients per meal, you can grab a fully cooked chicken by the pound or rice by the pound or something like that and mix and match whatever meal you want to make for that given day or week or whatever.
Oh, so that takes out the most annoying part, the cooking.
The cooking.
Oh my God.
The grocery shopping, the cleaning, all the good
of
stuff.
that. Yeah, now I just bundle it up and get to eat it.
That's it.
I even like that. That might even be up my alley too.
I just sales pitched you too.
Yeah. What did you just come on here to like, you just go on every podcast possible and you're just like, and I got a new customer.
Yes.
If that's what it takes, man, that's some serious bootstrapping. Can you give us some examples of your more popular dishes and snacks?
Sure. Yeah. So the snacks pretty much stay the same. We do a protein parfait. It's I'm going to give my recipes away.
NDAs? No.
You're more than welcome to make them if you want. I always see that, and I love to see people trying to replicate our meals, because if you can do it, then that's great. I'm just here to help if you need it.
Imitation's the greatest form of flattery.
Yes. Our protein parfait, it's a Greek yogurt with some protein powder, berries, and granola. We do an overnight oats. I
love overnight oats. I'm a sucker for
I eat them every single day. I always make sure to make extra of those.
Are they flavored? You guys?
Yeah, so we just switched to a cinnamon roll protein powder that we add, and then it's peanut butter, almond milk, oats, and some apples.
Damn, so that sounds good.
Like a cinnamon apple deliciousness.
Oh god, I hope you guys are hungry because I am.
Some of the like top meals, our burger bowl is always a huge hit.
Burger bowl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Super random.
It's the fact that it's healthy and you can call it a burger bowl. Yeah. I like
and
it.
And super easy. Again, this one I've seen replicated a bunch. It's just roasted potatoes, ground beef with some ketchup, mustard, pickle, and onion on there. Again, straightforward. If you season it right and cook it right, it does the trick. What else? Our turkey Philly is my personal favorite. So I'll talk that up a little bit. It's just a jasmine rice, shredded turkey, roasted peppers and onions, and some provolone cheese on top. Yeah.
That sounds really good.
So those are two really popular ones. We do plays on food too. Like we do a protein waffles. So you get like the waffle feel, but it's a little bit healthier in the macro section. We just did bison meatballs.
Dude, people were blowing up about your bison meatballs, man.
I was like,
awesome. I want some of those. Yeah. Damn, okay.
Again, another great shout out, local butcher in the area, Carrie, Orchard Meats. He does He does all of my proteins for me. And so he's like, yeah, we can do ground bison. And I'm like, let's rock and roll.
Do it. Yeah, I love that. I love local using local.
Totally.
There is nothing better. I think it's just one big networking family. And that's what I hope happens with the podcast, you know? So
that's, again, slight pitch, but that's where I know Sergio from is he uses our kitchen. So I've been lucky enough to prep out of our kitchen, right? And then because of all of the hurdles that I've had to come through.
Fair.
From other spaces, I've kind of taken it on and used that space as another small business opportunity for other people where they can rent, I guess, from me and start their small business. So,
yeah, I mean, you're almost like a business incubator in the kitchen space, right? And I think that's huge. There was a podcast we did last year with McHenry County.
Okay.
For the McHenry Chamber.
Sure.
They built out all these kind of little mini 100 square foot like outbuildings that were like incubators. I'm like, I wish more and more of that. And I'm kind of actually trying to rip off a very similar business model of yours, but in the photography side of it. So one of my big side hustles, let's call it that. I love photos, video, all that stuff. You've probably seen some of the things, but there's tons of photographers. Everyone knows one, right? It almost feels like a realtor, right? But a lot of photographers do not have either the consistent income or the money to have their own photo studio. So I was trying to find like a place that I could I have enough for me and then I can rent out the rest and then it's a nice maybe wash or a little extra income.
Yeah.
You know, like cover some of that overhead cost.
1,000%. Yeah. That's where it came from, right? Like I've been lucky enough to where I've navigated the business to really only operate in the kitchen 3 days out of the week. So those other 4 days, it's wide open. And like I said, because of the other kitchens I came from, like I know how to kind of set that up and at least help people start.
Yeah.
And we go from there.
Otherwise, it's just sitting there.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
It's like,
take a little rent off the top.
Heck yeah, exactly. Right. That's money back in your pocket. Yes. And hey, and if Sergio or someone else takes off, man, they just, hey, don't forget about me, man.
That's it. Get those taquitos frying.
Oh God. We're talking healthy foods, not fried taquitos.
All right,
even though Sergio, you got to get on here, man. Let's talk about what was a pivotal moment for you in your business. Obviously getting stuck in a snowstorm and not giving up. That's one of them. But was there some other time where it sticks out, maybe for the more positive side?
Well, I mean, COVID was another like downside, I guess, if you want to go that route. Just like there was a moment there where I was like, I gotta close up, I'm seeing people every day. That's how I deliver my food, all of that. And, I left it up to the people and,
Interesting.
And I was like, I'm still going to deliver. If you want to order, that's great. If not, then that's fine too. I'll take all the necessary precautions.
Yeah.
And, I grew, like that was one of the biggest like upsides of COVID, as weird as that sounds, is like
silver linings, man.
Yeah. The takeout business, I guess, and the catering or whatever drop off food business grew, and I became one of them. And as a healthy option, that was a big selling point, I guess. So,
well, and I think there was like, and I'm doing this from a outsider perspective too, and I'm thinking about it of who you are and how you're doing it. Like you can essentially, as much as possible, right, vouch like, hey, I know the kitchen. Yeah. I'm the guy cooking it. I'm the guy delivering it, right? Versus I Grubhub something from who knows where, from who knows what. Like, who is the Grubhub driver, right? Like, I would have a much higher level of comfort during COVID with that. With you than 19 people. I have no idea what happened, where, touched what, who, any of that.
Even, I mean, again, with COVID and outside of that, like, I have the benefit of being still relatively small, right? Yeah. Like my team, although in the last 2 years it's doubled, there's still only 10 of us. So
I mean, 10, that's no small number either.
It's not, but like there's no like corporation that you have to deal with where a ton of people are touching your food or it's getting passed from one person to the next. Like I can literally navigate it back to the person who made your food that day. Yeah. So
that's great. And I mean, and there's like a lot of good behind that, right?
Totally.
Like, so let's talk. You open the door there for me. So you have 10 employees now? Yeah. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. That's a feat in itself.
Yes. Very much so.
Be able to afford 10 employees. I mean, it's the most expensive part of a business.
Yeah. Again, looking back, there were plenty of times where it was just me, like overnight chopping chicken, chopping sweet potatoes by myself, and getting through those times. Again, another shout out. My brother has helped me tons when I was in a bind, coming in and just helping me out. But over the last, like I said, 2 years, I really made a push to, I guess, streamline is the word. That's a good business word, right?
Yeah. Very corporate of you there. You're halfway to a CEO. You got one corporate buzzword down. There you go.
And so with that, there's been just a big improvement in getting the food out quicker, and a lot more production compacted. So to do that, I had to bring more people on, and we do a shift on, not to get whatever, but like a shift on Saturday to do a lot of prep work, and then there's 2 shifts on Sunday that do more prep, cooking, and packing, and delivery, and then there's another delivery route that goes out Monday. So really, those 3 days are like game time.
That's your business. Yeah. Those 3 days of being actually operational.
Because everybody wants their food in the beginning of the week, and then they're set for the whole week kind of thing. So
yeah. So what's your? I know you alluded to Chicagoland, but what is your delivery reach?
Yeah. So like I said, I want to try to reach as many people as possible, right? Yeah. There's only so many hours in the day that I can drive that long, but I still go into the city. I go as far south as like, what is it called now? U.S. Cellular Guaranteed Field, whatever.
Comiskey Park.
Yeah, I stick with Comiskey too.
I think they even got rid of the up rate or whatever. Okay. They just call it rate field
down there.
Or guaranteed. I think they dropped or whatever.
So south side of Chicago, all the way out to like the Hinsdale, Oak Brook area.
Holy shit, man.
Out to like Carroll Stream, and then up through Elgin, McHenry, Gurney, all that good stuff. So,
Wisconsin at all?
Not yet.
Not yet. I like that. Not yet.
I argue that like there's 8 million people in my little like area that
once I get enough of them,
then we'll discuss. So.
That's a range, man.
It's a range.
That is huge.
Yeah. From, like I said, literally just walking down the street from gym to gym in good old Humboldt Park of Chicago to trying to reach that amount of people. So
I just got a message to an eavesdropper that we never talked about pricing plans.
Sure.
So what's the pricing model look like?
Yep. So again, for a smaller business, I can keep prices relatively low. I guess in the meal prep game, I think I'm relatively
competitive.
That's the word.
There's
another one.
There we go. We got 2 down. We're 30 minutes in. We got 2. We'll find 2 more.
So our standard size meal is $8.95. Our larger portion meal is $10.95.
Okay.
And then our customization is just $1 more, $11.95. If you're looking, like I said, the customization kind of comes in where either specific macros, dietary restrictions, we got to tweak a meal accordingly. Mm-hmm. That just takes a little extra time and effort on my end, but like we'll make it happen if you're willing to pay the extra bucks.
Yeah. That's really competitive pricing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've explored different ones, and that's a pretty nice. And what differentiates it from being standard to large? Is it based on caloric?
Yes, that's it. It's just a calorie thing. So our standard, it all started when I first started. I was doing like strictly meal plans, and so the meal plan at our standard was like 4 meals of our standard would be 2,000 calories a day, and then 4 meals of the larger is closer to 3 or 3,500 calories a day.
Okay.
So they break down to like 500 calories or like 600 or 700 calories per meal in the standard versus the large.
So 5. Sorry.
Yeah.
I lost you. So I just want to make sure no one else lost.
Yeah. So our standard size is 500 calories.
Okay.
Just well-balanced, healthy portion meal. I would say 95% of our clients just do our standard regular 500 calorie meal.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then there's the bigger eaters.
The bodybuilders, high caloric athletes, stuff like that.
Like those, whatever, construction workers.
Oh, yeah. Guys heck yeah.
Eating.
Active, very active. Yeah.
Or you know that you need that much food just to maintain. There's plenty of them out there.
Yeah.
That will range up to 700 calories per meal.
And do you have a meal minimum or maximum? I guess either end.
Maximum, you can order.
We'll give you 100 of them. I don't care. You figure out what you do.
Drop a full cooler out in front of your door. I don't care. Minimum, I usually ask for 5 items, right? So just make it worthwhile for both of us. Like in my viewpoint, if you're ordering 2 meals for the entire week, like I'm not really helping you a whole lot.
Yeah, what's the purpose almost at that point? Yeah.
I get it. Like some people travel or you have other things going on. Great. We can adjust for that week, but usually I will stick to 5 items where you can have a dinner per day per week or whatever. So that's like, or your work week, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, now that so many people work from home too, it's like I'm raiding the fridge and eating the things I shouldn't be eating. You know, it's like,
well, you'll see our little container in there. And you'll be like,
heck yeah,
that's it.
How have you evolved over the time of this business?
Just to hint back on the confidence thing, I guess probably. I probably would have never agreed to do a podcast 10 years ago.
Dude, now you're here crushing it.
Thanks, man. Thanks. And just, I don't know, being able to, sell the business, be, I guess, proud of what it's become, and all of the hurdles that we've had to overcome since then. It's pretty cool to think about.
And I just want to reiterate, when you say sell the business, you mean like promote it?
Yes.
Like
no.
Sell it off.
Yeah. I've had a couple people ask me like, what's the end game? Because like that is a thing, I guess. I've never thought about it that way. I never foresee that happening. I love what I do now. Like I have a couple really long days and I would love to maybe like shrink those hours just a tad.
Little bit,
But again, I have a great team. The operation I feel like is in a great spot. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Well, and I think you've made, in 2 years, a lot of moves for something where we talk about all the time on here is you work on the business, not in the business, right? We don't want you, the guy, the leader of it all, in there chopping the chicken, right? We want you to put the right SOPs in place, standard operating procedures, So it's very replicable, right? And
Sure.
takes that off your plate, so
Yeah.
you can focus on, landing a bigger account, opening up, another hub or
Yeah.
something, and things like that. And then to the other side of it, your exit strategy,
Sure.
right? One of the podcasts we just had, actually the first one we kicked off this week, Eric Fahlberg, he said it's like,
The distillery guy.
yeah. It was one of the best lines I've ever heard. He's like, if you're not building something someone else wants to buy, you're only buying yourself a job. And it's like, and for some people, he's like, that's okay.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do for the rest of your life. But if you don't have if you're not planning for your way out, then it's just like you have a job.
Yeah.
It's your job, so.
I think I'm in the gray area, as weird as that sounds, because like I think I've built it to a point where I would be comfortable doing that the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I say this all the time, and it's not whatever. I say this all the time is I've been lucky enough over the last probably since COVID, I've gotten it to where I work those 3 days and I can
Enjoy a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hop on a plane and go to. I just went to Colorado for 4 days and snowboarded.
No big deal.
Yeah. I mean, it's not terrible. Like
That I would say in a very good place.
Yes.
There's a lot of business owners we've had on where they're not there yet.
yes,
And they know that.
and that's looking back and whatever, trying to like enjoy the 10-year mark or whatever. Like I feel pretty good about where we're at.
Are you going to do
Knock on
like,
wood.
yeah, right? Knock on wood. Are you going to do some big like 10-year party or something?
I want to.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it, man. You know how many businesses don't make it 10
Yes.
years? Most.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It should be. Yeah. We're gonna do something big. I think
Do it.
this helps.
You earned it.
Thanks.
I'm curious how your 3 busiest days are your weekend. How has that impacted your like social life
Yeah.
in general?
It was. Yeah. It was a hurdle.
Yeah.
I've used hurdle a couple times now.
I'm gonna open up a thesaurus here for a second.
I guess in like my upbringing through the bodybuilding world, like I've become really scheduled and regimented where, and more of the mindset where like that stuff doesn't necessarily bother me personally.
Okay.
Family, friends have had to overcome that for sure. And they've understood that like the success that I've had comes with those kind of sacrifices.
Yeah.
And they see it on the other end, right? Where when there's not those 3 days where I'm stuck in the kitchen or whatever, like I'm happy to go to the gym or take a trip or whatever I can do for those people. And that's just the way that it has to be.
I mean, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm happy at that point where it's not 100% away from the business,
Right.
but it's enough for me to be happy and feel like I can provide whatever I need to provide for the people around me. I got sidetracked there. What was the original question?
We were just talking about how, weekends, losing the
Oh,
weekends.
yeah,
and,
yeah.
how it impacts your life.
Yeah.
and-
So like, again, my partying days are well over. Thankfully, I had enough of that.
We've been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, because I've been doing it for 10 years, I think I've laid the groundwork to know that like that's just what it's going to be. So,
And that's fair. I mean, you've been doing it long enough now. It's like, well, you want to
It's
see
normal.
Kris,
Yeah.
you're seeing him Monday through Thursday,
Yes.
kind of thing.
one day, Saturday is a hit or miss kind of thing. And I like, again, as if I become lucky enough to like have a family someday and all that, I will definitely make it a priority to adjust things appropriately. Where like, I think I even have the freedom now to do that. It's just, I don't need to make that
You don't
decision.
have the necessity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, again, you're in a very powerful position, right? Where you are in the upswing of getting to that point with a couple other moves, and then you could be, you don't physically have to be there, right?
Sure.
And it's like, and that's a choice you get to make.
Yes.
Which a lot of people don't.
Yes.
So, we all have 20/20 hindsight. Well, most of us. Some people. Okay, a couple of us. What's one of the things like I know what you want to say? Well, everything taught me something. Well, no shit.
Yes.
I hope so because you've been very successful now 10 years in. But what's like that one thing where you wish you could go back and was like change, wish you'd have known beforehand? Like what was like it's just that one that just like every once in a while keeps you up at night and was just like son of a bitch. You know, I wish I'd have known that before we did that.
I'm one of those people that like everything taught me something, but
I knew you were going to try to say that.
I'm just winging it really at the end of the day.
Don't tell people that they're letting them in on our secret. We're all just winging it.
So like a little bit of business knowledge or like vision would have helped, I guess. Like, get me on a more straighter path. Yeah. Or like, it got me where I am now quicker. How about that?
Okay. Yeah. I see what you're putting down. Okay. What do you have a educational background at all?
Yeah. So that's like, I'm not a chef.
Yeah.
And I'm not a business person, and I've done both apparently. So
okay. For 10 years.
Yeah.
Successfully.
I've burnt many chicken breasts, and I'm sure, like I said, my business model is not the best, but we're here. So
yeah. I mean, and I think that says a lot. I think people get, I want to use the word fear, but maybe that's not even the right word.
Just caught up.
Yeah. Like it's okay not to know everything. First off, you're never going to.
Yeah.
And then if you think you do, you're wrong.
Yeah.
It is basically how I want to put it.
You'll learn soon enough.
Yeah. And I think there's too many people that have like, I need to know it all before I make the jump. And it's just like, you're going to think you do, and you're going to make the jump and still learn something new, you know? And it's like, just go do it, try it, you know?
Yeah. And that's exactly how I got off the ground. And that's what's gotten me here. But like, yeah, a little bit more of a background or knowledge into what I was getting into would probably have helped. Other than my like
both.
dollar store pots and pans.
Hey, you made it work.
Yeah.
You figured it out. You came with a solution, man.
Yes.
That's what I like. I was going to ask you about what's your least favorite part of running the business? All of it. Wait, no, I didn't say that.
Never. It used to be the decision making, you know, like making sure whatever, like that next week we have enough of whatever, or like that the next move I'm going to make is the right move. And just like we just talked about. But now it's doing the dishes.
Oh, God. Oh. Yeah, you signed up for a life of dishes, man.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
And I will probably, again, like I said, never step away from it, but I will always be the one to do the dishes just because I'm the guy that, like, I'm just a firm believer in, like, if you don't want to do it, then you shouldn't make somebody else do it. And so, like, to a certain extent. Yeah. But yeah. All my other guys are great at what they do, so I can sacrifice doing the dishes every week.
One thing I like talking about, especially because you actually have one of the larger staffs of the companies we've had on the podcast. How has it been? How do you handle, hiring, firing, training? There's a lot of entrepreneurs are right there about hiring maybe their first part-timer or even a full-timer.
Yep.
What did that look like? Hiring your first person, and
Sure.
What kind of mistakes have you learned along the way?
Yeah, so I'm definitely in the rare because of our operation. It's only 3 days a week, and like it's only really just people who can help on the weekends. Mm-hmm. So there's no like full-time jobs available or that are current. And I've been super lucky with the people that I've gotten. I know it's incredible. Like I was talking to one of the guys the other day in the kitchen about like how he started with us. And it literally was like 3 people before him brought him in just because I needed extra help that day. And like those 3 people are gone and he stayed on. So it's like a streamline of like, what is it, like 6 degrees of separation or whatever? Yeah. Well, we're on like 3 or 4 now. And so, again, it's just great people who see the business as like a good thing and need some extra cash on the weekend and like know that every given weekend or every given Sunday, like they're going to come in and they're going to work hard and help people out by eating well and they get paid for it. So, so there has been no real like hiring process, I guess. It's like if I'm short for a week and I need some help, like my guys
know a guy.
Well,
No, someone knows a guy.
Someone knows a guy.
Yeah. The most Chicago thing I could say. Yeah.
And there's like my like true probably or core like 3 or 4 guys that have been, one guy has been with me since the beginning.
No shit.
This is a great story. So he was in the warehouse with me.
Okay.
And he saw the business kind of grow while I was there.
Yeah.
And there were days that I was coming in at 6 a.m. with him after cooking all night. And he's like, what is going on? And then as the business grew and he saw me less and less, he was like, as soon as I retire, I'm going to come work for you. And I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
And so I left, whatever it was, those 4 years after it started. And a year later, he called me and was like, hey, I'm ready. Where is the kitchen? And he has been with me ever since.
That's badass.
Yeah. So he comes in, we rock mariachi music, and we go to town. So,
no wonder Sergio fits right in, man. Cranking out taquitos with you guys.
Yeah.
I could pick. I mean, I know he's probably even on different days, but I could still just picture it.
Oh yeah.
And it's, let's
ripping through these questions.
Yeah, there's just so many routes I want to go. What's some like? Actually, I'm gonna even take a step back. I want to emphasize something here because I know a lot of what we talked about really sounded like this is catered towards the gym rat, the meatheads, right? But it's not, right? Like, who else is your customers, right? Like,
no, that's a great question. And that's really, I mean, a lot of people have that perception. And it's not even that at all. It's like everybody and anybody, right? Okay. And that's where, from those meal plans originally, it went to more of like an a la carte, like order by the meal kind of option. Because I think people were a little taken back by like a meal, quote unquote, meal plan where there's
sounds fitness.
Yeah. Right? And there were people out there that just wanted a healthier option than ordering out from somewhere else or whatever, picking up the gas station hot dog.
Frozen dinners from, Jewel, kind of thing.
So we have, I know I have parents who order like their high school, like kids, the meals for when they get home from school. And I have, retired, like, stay at home, whatever, grandparents that don't want to cook for themselves. And I help them out by having meals ready for them. So it spans in a wide variety of people. I would say the majority are just your like busy, whatever, middle-aged people that don't want to cook and don't want to shop and want to eat healthier.
Every millennial.
Everybody. Yeah, everybody. Which is a great population to try to sell to.
And it made me think of that because one of the we went through quite a few before we were trying to find one my grandfather liked.
Sure.
Because he's by himself. He's an old Polak.
Yeah.
Hates to cook. Well, actually, no, I don't think he's ever cooked. Let me actually correct that. I don't think he's ever cooked. And he's very, wants pretty bland, very traditional stuff. And so, trying to find something like there were some where you had to still like kind of cook everything. And then there were some that were like, they were frozen and they're just like, they taste kind of exactly what you'd think, So, and then it was like, oh, that makes sense. Like that's a huge audience right there.
Sure.
Like go up with Del Webb right there and start knocking on some
I've
door.
had people say that before.
I mean, at one point, I get to a point, my wife, she loves to cook, but there going to be one day she's going to wake up.
Totally.
Just like, I don't want to cook ever again.
Yeah. And that's where, like, again, another like big sell, I guess, is like most of those other places are subscription models, right?
Yes.
And so I am a firm believer in like, as long as you know about me, I'll bother you with 2 emails a week saying our meals are here, but otherwise you'll never hear from us unless you want the food.
So what's the cutoff for like week to week?
Yeah,
How does that look like?
The whole process kind of goes Wednesday morning, the menu opens up. You can hop on the website, see what's available for that given week. It stays open till Saturday evening, and then we do all the cooking, like I said, Saturday night, Sunday, and then you get the food either Sunday night or Monday. So it's a really quick turnover. That food's not sitting for very long before it's in your fridge.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And a quick turnaround, man. That is impressive, honestly.
And it's a smaller, like I said, a smaller operation, but
I mean, it's not that small.
Not small.
Don't downplay it, man. Okay. You got 10 employees. You got a kitchen, man. That's no joke. Plenty of people doing still out of their own home kitchen.
True.
You know.
Yeah.
So by themselves.
1,500 meals a week. Not to drop like numbers.
Oh, there we go. Some numbers. I like it. 1,500 meals a week.
Yeah.
Do you see any emerging trends that are coming in your space, happening, ones you do like, don't like, anything like that?
I mean, like I said, from when I started till now, there are tons of other options out there, and I will never step on anybody's toes. And like, if you want to choose them or try them, I'm more than happy for you.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in just like staying my route and offering what we offer, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay. Again, the turnover rate has been super low, so I think I'm doing something right. But not necessarily trends. I mean, pretty much, I would think pretty much there's always going to be something new, but I think everything has pretty much been covered to a certain extent. The shipping game is like a whole different ball game.
That's a beast. And
the
costs are asinine.
Yeah. Which, again, like, I don't ever foresee. I played around with that super early just because there were people that were super excited for the business and whatnot, and they weren't local. Mm-hmm. And I was, like, thinking about it. But, again, there's 8 million people in the vicinity that I kind of service. So it's not a thought at this point. But I don't know about trends necessarily.
Yeah. I mean, because it kind of to your business mission, right? Like if you're keto or any of those type of, let's call those certain trends, right? You're like, well, that's not who we are, right? Like, so you're like, great, there's another new one.
Do it.
And there'll be another one next year and then one after that, you know?
And if you do it right, like if you are serious about that specific diet, we do offer like
the
options,
right? You can do it,
especially with the items by the pound. Like a ton of people do just proteins, and then they can supplement any of their other dietary needs against those proteins that they get. So that's very nutrition-y, but yes.
That's a new word for you guys.
There
Nutrition-y.
Yep.
All right, that one's going in the dictionary. Webster 2025. Here it comes. Both. All right, let's do this. So I told you we're already 50 some minutes in, man.
Cool.
Time's flying.
Rocking and rolling.
What do we got? We brought some meals today.
Yep.
So what do we got in the bag?
Yeah. I got you a hat for sure.
Sweet.
So you can rep a little bit.
You know I will.
There's the overnight oats.
Oh, this looks like crack. This looks so good. And this is considered one serving?
Yeah.
There's so much in here.
It's a cup of oats.
Well, compared to the little crap I get at the store.
Well, again, if you portion it correctly and you know your
460
numbers,
calories.
you can make it happen.
I'm wondering. I think it's almost half, but it's so tiny.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you got? The chocolate oat balls.
Yeah. So those are another protein snack. It's oats, dark chocolate chips, protein powder, peanut butter, and you just roll them up into balls of deliciousness.
My God. That's like candy, but better for you. I love that.
That's just another set.
Another set. Oh, okay, cool.
We got, so with those 5 meals that we offer every week, we do a thing called Meal of the Month. So everybody knows at least for that month, you're going to get one meal that's going to be reoccurring. So that was our last one, was the sweet chili chicken.
Okay.
It's chicken thighs, jasmine rice, some mixed veggies, and a sweet chili sauce. It's like a spicy sweet and sour.
God, Dude, this would be so filling with only 480 calories.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
Again, I'll repeat myself, but
oh my God, buffalo sauce. Dude, I'm a sucker. My wife's probably laughing right now. She's probably listening. I am a sucker for buffalo sauce.
Well, I hope that one works.
I'm going to get this one first.
The portioning is, a lot of people are thrown by the portioning because if you have those frozen dinners or whatever, they're loaded in not the right stuff.
Yeah.
And you're eating the wrong stuff that's not going to be filling, where this should fill you up and you get the right portions.
Couscous. I haven't had couscous in a minute, man. That's awesome. Dude, buffalo, you got me right there. I'm hooked. I'm signing up.
That's one of my personal favorites. Again, I'm a turkey fan. I don't know. It's like the
Dude,
sodium in it is just like
ground turkey lately.
There you go.
Yeah.
So broccoli cheddar turkey. It's with some wild rice. It's a good one.
And contrary to my body physique, I am health conscious, but I've been working on it.
There you go.
Working on it.
Well,
dude, these are awesome.
Yeah, man.
Dude, thanks for bringing these by.
Of course. There's 2 of each, so you can share with the fam.
Oh, thank you so much. That was totally awesome and necessary because I want to eat these. So this is your time to be super shameless. This is all about your plugs. So
cool.
How do people find you?
Yep. Instagram is the big, and my website, I guess, but Instagram is a big one. I put all of my meals up there, or our meals up there. I love to play around on there and do stuff, videos in the kitchen, and promote us that way. So it's at My Mighty Meals. And then the website is just mymightymeals.com.
Super simple.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you were able to get that web address.
So,
since we got a story.
Yeah, since we got
you got time. You have plenty of time. Yeah, don't worry about it.
There is a story behind that. There is a Mighty Meals out there. You can order from them, but they're from New Jersey. So My Mighty Meals is the big one.
Oh, man. Has that been a problem in it?
We came across a little bit of a cease and desist order and all of that.
Oh, from them? Yeah. Are they like much bigger? Or
yeah.
Something? Yeah. Damn. Are they in the same space too?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So lucky enough, one of my longest clients is a big wig lawyer in the city.
Oh, no shit. It's all about who you know, man.
So I got this letter and I was like, shit. I'm in trouble, what am I going to do?
They're trying to scare you. That's what they try to do. Yeah.
Am I going to have to change the name, shut the business down, whatever? And so I sent it to him and he's like, I'll take care of it. And so
never heard anything again.
Well, he asked me a couple questions and it wound up being I think it was 57 days that I had the name before these guys.
No shit.
So knock on wood, but I'm pretty untouchable with the name, I think, at this point.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so glad for you because
that name's pretty clutch.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I do what you can do with the logoing and branding. Yeah. It's just, I am a big advocate for that. I do this. So I think I admitted it once. I don't know, but I do this thing where I take everybody's who's coming on the podcast and I mess with their name, with the letters.
Okay.
Cause I have when I started the Jeep Club, I was super OCD on, because I knew Lake County Jeep Club is really long name. No one ever says it, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to go right to the initials. So it's what are the initials? And so it's LCJC. I was like, oh, okay. It's got a nice roll and all that. And it doesn't have it's not a word. Sometimes some people don't catch that. One company we had on here, it would have been ass.
Okay.
I'm like, oh God.
Not the best.
Fortunately, their business, it didn't really no one was going to abbreviate.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. But
if it correlated with something with
their business,
it would have been great.
Yeah, it would have been. I hope you did that on purpose. Or like a plastic surgeon or something. Or never mind. I don't even know where to go
cushions.
with that. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Thanks for the save.
Yeah.
But the triple M's, man.
Yeah.
And the M's a good letter because I always look at the letter shaping too.
Okay.
I know, really weird.
No,
dumb,
that's cool.
But I've learned some lessons the hard way on branding and
MMM's going to stick.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll find you on Instagram. We'll definitely tag the heck out of
Thanks.
it. The website, obviously, mymightymeals.com.
That's it.
What else do we want? Would we cover anything that you wanted to talk about, or anything that you?
No,
this is your show, man. This is I'm just here. I'm just here to put a mic in front of you. I don't do anything else.
Yeah. No way. I appreciate you having me. Again, thanks to everybody who's supported me in the past and in the future, hopefully. And I'm looking forward to helping you guys eat well.
You guys, this food looks phenomenal. I will by the time this goes live, I will be able to write a review with the food, with the post. That's where you can
And
see
the
where my
food.
head's at with the food. But Kris, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
This has been awesome.
Thanks for having
Dude,
me.
and I told you the hour was going to fly by.
We did it.
We crushed it. And as usual, guys, shop local, support small, all the good things. Stay away from those big boxes, and I'm going to keep saying that until Amazon sues me, because then I'll know I've made it. And until next time, guys, goodbye for now. Another episode and another incredible local business you wish you'd have found sooner. If you had fun today, share this with someone who needs to hear it, leave a review, and most importantly, put your money where your community is. Find a local business, show them some love, and tell them Small Business Big Dreams sent you. I'm Eric Bohl. Shop small, dream big, and until next time, goodbye for now.